Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jennifer from talkfinancestome.com, and on today's video we are going to be talking about my 2021 sinking funds, how I set them up, why I chose them, etc. If that's something you're interested in, then keep on watching. So really quickly, I just want to put out the definition of what a sinking fund is. A sinking fund is a fund that you set up throughout the year. It could be multiple, it could be one, it could be two. It doesn't really matter how many you have. And you set them up throughout the year so that you're saving a little bit of money every single time that you get paid for a special event, a special day, a birthday, a holiday, or something that you have going on every single year that will require some type of money from you. Sinking funds have changed my whole entire budgeting strategy, my whole financial journey into a very positive one. And without sinking funds, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things that I do now. I wouldn't be able to spend the money that I do for my kids during their birthdays, during the summer, or during Christmas time. I was once an emotional spender, so I found myself spending a lot of my extra money on things that I wanted at that moment, not necessarily that I needed. When you set up sinking funds, you are taking money that you would have normally spent on something that you didn't need and saving it for a future day or a future event, whatever it is that you want to save it for. Next, I want to talk about how I chose these sinking funds. So with these particular sinking funds, I chose them because those were the ones that were hurting my budget the most. They were putting additional debt on my credit cards the most, and they were the events that I just didn't have the money for every time they would roll around. So the first one is Christmas. I love giving gifts, and that's just something that I love to do. It's like my love language to others. I love to give gifts, and I try to give gifts that I think that person would love and enjoy, and it makes me feel good to give gifts to others. However, it can be so expensive, especially during Christmas time, when you are buying so many gifts for so many people. The bigger family that you have, the more money that you're going to be spending. So I do see why a lot of people choose not to celebrate Christmas or choose not to waste so much money because it's just one day. So I know for me, it's an important holiday for me, and I want to be able to get my family nice items. So since I know this about myself, I went ahead and added that to my sinking fund. The way you figure out how much you should be saving every time you get paid or every month for a sinking fund is to first come up with the amount of money that you're going to need at the time or at the time frame that you're going to need it for that event or that sinking fund. For me, I like to have all of my Christmas money saved by the end of November. And that way I have at least 2 weeks to buy gifts, and I can be ahead of the stores getting so crowded, and I don't have to make, crazy decisions on what am I going to buy and then going over budget. And because when you have a lot of pressure on you and you are trying to hurry up and find a gift, you end up spending more money. So after Christmas is finished and the new year starts, I put a goal every single year of how much money I want to save. So this year I put a goal of $2,000 to save. That amount of money is going to cover gifts, decorations, food, anything that goes along with Christmas. Since I know that I'm going to need $2,000 by the end of November, I will then look at how many paychecks I have from the beginning of January to the end of November, and then divide the number of paychecks by $2,000. When I did the math, I came up with $84 every single pay period. So as of right now, I'm saving $50 every 2 weeks for Christmas, $100 a month, or $150 when I get paid 3 times in the month. And then when I do have large checks or large amounts of money that come in, then I will go ahead and send whatever's left or whatever's needed to my Christmas fund. The next sinking fund that I have is my emergency fund. I added this as a sinking fund because I felt as though I needed to save more money for my emergency fund. It doesn't matter how much money you put in your savings account as long as you're putting something. So I have chosen to put $60 every 2 weeks, $120 every month, and $180 for months that I get paid 3 times. It is very important to me to build this emergency fund, so that's why I continue to do it. There is no end date, so it's gonna just keep going over and over. I'm just gonna keep adding toward this sinking fund. The next sinking fund that I have is my car maintenance fund. So this is another one that goes over and over and it doesn't end. I started it as soon as I realized that I needed a sinking fund, and I've had it ever since. Every pay period, I give $30 toward the sinking fund, $60 every month, and $90 when I get paid 3 times. So this fund has the money that we need to do a car wash, an oil change, or change tires, tire rotation, car detailing, whatever, or the brakes, the rotors, whatever it is that it needs. That is what the car maintenance fund is for. Again, this fund is ongoing. There is no end date. We just keep putting money into it every single time we get paid because we're constantly taking money from this account so that we can take care of both of our cars. The next sinking fund that I have are our kids' birthdays. So for this one, it's a little bit tricky because obviously all of them have a completely different birthday. So I like to save at least $100 every pay period. So what I will do is I will look at all of the sinking funds, and we like to save the same amount of money for all 4 of our kids. For instance, my son just turned 10 and we used his sinking fund money for his birthday. But now the next birthday that we're going to have is in June for our oldest, Jasmine. She'll be turning 15. So all of our money that we're saving for is going to go to Jasmine's sinking fund. And then once she's done, and actually at the same time, because Malia's birthday is the following month, so we just kind of see where we're at, how much money we have saved, how much time we have left, and then how much money we have to save for each one. For the most part, I save about $100 per pay period for all the birthdays, so $200 a month, and then $300 when we have 3 pay periods. For Valentine's Day, I was saving $25 every single pay period, $50 every single month, $75 if the month had a 3rd paycheck. I started saving from October of 2020 and I stopped right before Valentine's Day. I try to start earlier than October, but sometimes I just forget. So for the last 2 years, I've started in October. The next sinking fund that I chose is our summer fund. So in the summer, we like to do a whole mess of different things. We like to travel. We like to take the kids out. We like to go places, try new things, new experiences. And so that requires a lot of money. From January to about June or July, I save about $100 every single pay period, $200 every single month, $300 every single time there's a 3rd pay period for our summer fund. So like I said, in the summer, that is the money that we use to take the kids out, to take them places, to do things with them, to buy things for them, whatever the case is. During the summer, when there is no school and the kids want to go somewhere, they want to experience things, but it gets expensive, guys. Like, it gets really expensive, especially when you start traveling and flying out or doing all different sorts of activities and stuff. So I noticed that we needed a sinking fund ASAP. So we've been doing this for about 2 years now. And at the end of the summer, I will have saved anywhere between maybe $1,500 to $2,000. It depends if I do it continuously. And when the summer comes, that is the money that I'm using for going out, eating out, buying stuff, travel, whatever the case is. So the next sinking fund that I chose is my wedding fund. So I got engaged in July of 2019. And ever since, I save about $100 every single pay period, $200 every single month, $300 every time there's a 3rd pay period. and it all is for the wedding fund. So we are having a destination wedding, and I decided that for many reasons, which I want to create a video on that. I'm saving for everything else that we're going to need, like my dress, our kids' outfits, travel expenses, all those additional things that we're going to need to pay for. So I will be stopping the savings around September, because we will be getting married October of 2021. The last sinking fund that I have is back to school. There have been so many years that back to school literally kicks my behind, because it's always like $300-400 just for back to school supplies, uniforms, getting them new shoes, and everything else. So I have decided to create a sinking fund for that, and I've had one for about 3 years now. I save about $50 every single pay period between the months of March and August. So once I'm done saving for back to school, then I will go ahead and buy obviously everything that requires to go back to school. But I save $50 every pay period, $100 every month, and $150 every single time there's a third pay period. I just want to touch on the importance of picking your own sinking funds. So just because I have these sinking funds don't mean that they work well for you or your family or your lifestyle. So these are the main funds that I've realized put a hole in my purse, in my wallet, in my financial situation. They're the ones that I would struggle with the most, especially as a single mother when I was, raising my son for the most part. These are the ones that really hurt me the most. So that is why I created sinking funds for them, and I have never looked back. I swear by sinking funds. If you have not tried it, I really encourage you to do so. That concludes my 2021 sinking funds. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and also share it with someone that you care about. Don't forget to subscribe and press the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any more of my videos. Until next time, guys, bye.